Good morning, happy Christmas Day. I'm about to go into the forest, hoping that I get down this hill in one piece. I've actually got frost on the ground today, so in some ways you could say we've got a white Christmas. We can see a little bit there. It's not so muddy because it's all frozen solid, so which is nice. Got a little robin up there. It's nice. I don't know that I've been to the woods on Christmas Day before. Probably, but don't remember in recent years. So this will be day 95 of the Repton Oak sit spot. And I thought I've got to visit on Christmas Day. I haven't got to, but I'd like to. So have a little bit of time out for myself to be with my extended family, which I consider to be all the trees and the creatures in this forest, which I love to bits. Great tit up there. Yeah, it's I think it's 0 degrees today, which I appreciate on Christmas Day. It's very weird having a mild Christmas. So I'm enjoying this already. I've bought my guitar and a couple of books out with me, Adrian Rich poems, and a little book I found on the street, I think, soaking wet, called Stories of Courage, which just sort of jumped out at me as I was scanning my bookshelves, and there's a story about a forest in there, so I thought I might read that, or even read you that. So I don't believe this. The demon jogger is around. I don't know whether you remember on my birthday, 2nd of September, I was here and verbally attacked by this crazy woman. Didn't do anything wrong. And she's here again today. I haven't avoided the woods, and I've passed her a few times and she's been okay, but I don't know. Christmas Day, heightened emotions. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll switch my camera back on when we get to the tree. I think I'm going to go this way because there's flooding further ahead. And I've only got my walking boots on, which are now pretty full of holes. So, little dog chasing the squirrels. There's about loads of squirrels up that tree. Dog's going mad. Wow. Parakeets. Look at those. Gorgeous. These are the moments I live for in life. Just, you know, these kind of magical little encounters. Yeah, it's the only drawback because it doesn't get light till quite late in the morning now. Well, late for me anyway. You're gonna encounter more people. Frosty grass. Yeah, I've been up quite a long time already today. Last couple of days I've felt just extremely exhausted. I haven't been able to do much at all, and too tired to open my study books yesterday, and I just vegged in front of the TV. I feel a bit better today. I've been up, still not up to do my yoga. I just wanted to lay in bed because it took me a long time to get to sleep. Christmas is a painful time for me. But I do remember what it used to stand for when I was a kid, and my happiest memories are of Went to a Church of England junior school, and there was like a church attached to it, and we used to sing. I remember going and singing Christmas carols there. We'd make these Christingles out of oranges and cloves and candles. And I love Christmas carols. I'm not religious, but I love churches and cathedrals. I like spending time. I used to like just spending the afternoon in a church, especially when I was in Paris a lot. In those days, a lot of the churches and cathedrals are open to the public all the time. I'm not sure whether that's the case now. There's very few public spaces you can go to get a bit of peace and quiet and to feel safe. I went to my local library a couple of weeks ago and it was just horrendous. There's no quiet place to study. It's full of kids and groups of people eating, people listening to music on their phone. I'm so anxious. I just thought, no, this isn't for me, but it's unfortunate because I thought, well, I could go there. It's just a change of scene for study, you know. But, yeah. If I ever get to Aberdeen, though, or Aberdeen. There's a lovely library there, public library, where you can kind of tuck yourself away and be quiet still. So, yeah. So while I was making porridge for Jan and I and cooking myself something to eat this morning, I was listening to carols from King's College. I heard some that I'd never heard before, which was nice. Jan and I have had a nice morning listening to our favourite Christmas songs, and we've turned some lights on, and we just enjoy being with our animals. And I'm acutely aware that this may be the last year that we'll be doing that together. So I'm making the most of that. I think however complex and painful relationships can be, I think it says something that I want to make an effort at Christmas. So we've been through a lot in 19 years. Got through a lot of things together. And yeah. But equally I need to have my own time. A beautiful pigeon there, and oak tree. Hello. Too close. Here we are, approaching now. The Repton Oak. Yeah, it's very Christmassy feeling. The low sun. Trouble with the cold though, it makes me want to do a wee a lot, which isn't great. More parakeets. Right, let's say hello. Thought I'd show you this beautiful mushroom. It's on the outer circle of the tree. Oh, it's cold. Yeah, the wind's quite fierce this morning, so I probably won't spend a lot of time here, but let's see. Oh. It's dried out, the wind I think it's dried out the trunk anyway. All the rain we had the other day. Happy Christmas, Repton Oak. There's the orange peel that's slowly rotting down. Here's the book I was telling you about, Stories of Courage, Claire Swain. This one's called Fighting for the Forest. So I'll read it out if you like, I don't think it's too long. Fighting for the Forest. The afternoon air was heavy, and young Chico's t-shirt felt wet against his body. It was dark here, deep in the thick forest, and the narrow path was rough and difficult. But Chico moved quickly and easily through the trees. This place was his home. Oh dear. I'm sitting on this broken off branch. It's blowing all the pages around. Maybe I won't be able to read it here. This place was his home, his life, and his work. Later he fought bravely to save this beautiful, important land for his own people and for the world. The Amazon rainforest is one of the most wonderful places on earth, the biggest, oldest, and richest forest in the world. It covers an area that is almost as big as Australia. It is home to millions of different kinds of animals, plants, and birds. Most of the world's fresh water is here, and the forest plants clean the earth's air every day. It is very hot, wet, and dark. For man's future, the rainforest is probably the most important area in the world. Chico Mendes was born near the Amazon town of Axpuri, Brazil, in 1944. There were no schools in the rainforest, and Chico started working at the age of 9. Like the rest of his family, the young boy earned money by taking small amounts of rubber from the forest's trees. The rubber was then sold to local factories. This is an old style of farming. The trees are not hurt when you take rubber from them. In this way, the forest and its people lived together comfortably. As a young boy, Chico did not think about the world outside of his town, his family, and his work. But as he grew, he learned more and more about the rainforest. He learned how to use forest plants as medicines and for food. Like forest people for thousands of years before him, he understood that man must use the rainforest carefully and thoughtfully. But people are often too selfish to think about the future. While Chico grew up, large areas of the rainforest were destroyed by greedy businesses. What I'm going to do is leave now and read some more when I get in a more sheltered spot, but I like to offer the tree something by way of gratitude, and hopefully it's liked me reading to it. Because after all, it's given me so much this year. Yeah, loads of people out today. Right, let's get going. Some frosty oak tree leaves here. Yeah, as I was walking away from the tree, I opened my Adrian Rich poetry book to a poem with the first word was courage. So maybe that's the theme of the day for me. Certainly need courage at the moment. And as I was headed out on my bedroom carpet, there was a little white feather. I know it probably came from my well, it did come, I think, from my down jacket, but it's still a nice little thought of an angel being present in my life. I do believe in all that very strongly. So, yeah, two men I've passed, we've wished each other happy Christmas. It's a nice thing to do. Face to face. Face to face is becoming more and more important to me. It has always been important to be with people in person, and as the years drawn to a close and I've got more and more tired, I've become lazy with my online habits. I don't use, I've got a YouTube channel, but I don't, and I've got an Instagram, but I don't scroll. I don't spend hours a day on social media, and I don't have a Facebook and Twitter. And I'm not online when I'm out of the house. That's a boundary I put in place for myself back in about 2000, when all these, I don't know, when it was possible to be online wherever you were, and I've never wanted that. Never wanted to be available 24 hours a day. So I've stuck to that. This amazing tree. I'll try and find a sort of a, not shaded, a protected spot where I can read this story. If not, I'll read it over a period of a few days. That might be a nice idea. I've come to a bit more of a sheltered spot here, so maybe we'll be able to read a bit more of Fighting for the Forest. So I'll start in the last paragraph I left off. But people are often too selfish to think about the future. While Chico grew up, large areas of the rainforest were destroyed by cold fingers. Greedy businesses. Near Zapuri, thousands of trees were burned to make new fields for modern farms. But without the forest, the land soon became dry and poor. Food and grass for the animals stopped growing in the new fields after only a few years. So the farmers cleared some more trees for fields, and the problem became more serious. In other parts of the Amazon, the forest was burned to build roads and electricity stations. Many businesses cut down thousands of trees and sold the wood cheaply for furniture and paper. The rainforest is more than 180 million years old. When it is cut down, it will not simply grow back. It is gone forever. Chico felt very angry toward the businessmen and farmers near Zapuri. The rainforest was important and he wanted to save it, but Chico was just a poor rubber farmer. When he spoke to the businessmen, they did not listen. Money was too important to them, so Chico spoke to local politicians, but they were only interested in power. Chico was not important. He wanted people to listen, so he had to think of another way. Chico started talking to ordinary people about the rainforest. He discovered that hundreds of people agreed with his ideas. His hope grew. Many voices are more powerful than one, he thought, but the rich businessmen still did not listen. These powerful people, the greedy politicians, did everything possible to stop Chico's fight. Chico made many enemies in Zapuri at this time, and his life became more dangerous. But, like great men before him, Chico wanted to fight peacefully with words, not with guns or knives. He knew that he had to change people's ideas. Chico spoke to more and more people in the Zepuri area. He asked them about their work and about the farms and businesses in their towns. Soon, Chico knew about businesses and farming plans before they happened. So when big farmers or businessmen wanted to clear a new area of forest, Chico organized group meetings on that land. Soon hundreds of people came together in this way and stopped the work of the forest clearers. Large areas of the forest were saved, but Chico's work meant that poor people, factory workers, truck drivers and farm workers were losing their jobs. Chico knew that he needed to find new jobs for these people. They needed jobs that did not destroy the rainforest. Then he had an idea that worked. People must stop cutting or burning the forest, but they could take forest fruits, plants for medicines and rubber. People will look after the forest if they earn money from it. People will look after the forest if they earn money from it, and they need a healthy forest to earn money now and for the future. So that's a picture of Chico Mendes taking rubber from a tree in Zepuri. In the 1980s, these were dangerous ideas. Business was very important to the Brazilian government. Brazil was not a rich country, but it wanted to help its people. Big companies brought in new money for better roads, houses, schools and hospitals. So the government gave money to new farms. It paid people to burn the forest and to start new businesses. Most people agreed that this was good for Brazil. Chico was the first Brazilian man to speak out against new businesses. His ideas were very new and very strange. It was almost impossible to change people's ideas. But in Zepuri, parts of the forest were saved. This gave Chico hope. He knew that more people needed to understand his message. He also understood that money was very important, so he travelled around the country and explained the problem in new ways. When the forest is destroyed, two things happen. First, there is new land for new business or farming. This makes money quickly for Brazil and is a good thing. But second, thousands of animals, plants and trees are destroyed. Over time, these will give Brazil more money. Over time, these will give Brazil more money than factories or farms. Not everyone believed Chico's words, but scientists agreed that they were true. At last, people could begin to see a future, a better future for the forest and for Brazil. In 1985, Chico started a national group of forest workers. People across Brazil now knew about Chico's ideas, and most big Brazilian businesses knew about Chico's success in Zepuri. They started to worry. As Chico became more popular, he also made more and more dangerous enemies. Powerful politicians and businessmen were very angry about his work. Businessmen gave politicians large amounts of money and asked for help, and the politicians used their power against Chico. They made his life and work as difficult as possible. They even sent him to prison, but Chico did not stop fighting for the forest. He knew that his life was in danger. Many people wanted to see Chico dead, but Chico did not listen. He had other plans. International companies owned many of the biggest farms and factories in the Amazon rainforest. Maybe personal conversations with the company's presidents were the best way to save the rainforest from the world's future. It was difficult work for one man, but Chico knew that he was the best man for the job. Later in 1985, Chico travelled to the United States and talked to many international companies. Some of the companies listened, and many people around the US soon became very interested in this brave man from Brazil. The 1980s were big years for business and money in all of the world's richer countries. International business got stronger and many rich people became richer. But by 1985, there were people who wanted to believe in something more important. They wanted a safe and comfortable world for their children. Chico Mendes's intelligent message was not only about money, it was about the world's future. It was the message that people needed to hear. In the next few years, Chico's name became famous across the... It's a picture of Chico Mendes at home with his wife and baby. So in the next few years, Chico's name became famous across the US and around the world. Reporters interviewed him, television producers made programs about him, and famous people wanted to meet him. More and more people sent money to protect areas of the forest. But across most of the Amazon area, big farmers and businessmen were still clearing the rainforest to make quick, easy money. At last, some Brazilian politicians understood that Chico's ideas were important too. The government started making plans to protect large areas of the Amazon rainforest. In November 1988, Chico's ideas became part of Brazilian law. In some areas, people had to stop clearing the forest, but they could collect fruit, medicinal plants, and rubber in these areas. Chico worked hard to make more and more of these special areas, but as his dreams started coming true, someone stopped him in the only possible way. Chico Mendes, the famous forest fighter, was murdered outside his home on December the 22nd, 1988. Many people believed that they knew the killer, an important man in Brazilian government and business, but that was difficult to prove. Chico's life was cut short, but his brave new ideas continued in other people. After his death, people around the world sent money to help Chico's work. More of the rainforest was protected and big business lost some of its power. People did not stop clearing the forest completely. Today, man is still destroying thousands of square kilometres of the Amazon rainforest every year. Hundreds of different animals and plants are lost every day. More than 20% of the forest is already lost forever. It took millions of years to grow, but at this speed it will disappear completely in only 50 years. We will not forget the work of Chico and people like him. One man changed the world's ideas. We have to think carefully about the things that we buy today. Our actions can save the rainforest. Chico's brave fight must continue. This picture, man is still destroying thousands of square kilometres of the Amazon rainforest every year. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. I think maybe I was meant to read that story today. I'd never heard of that guy. And I was reading the other day about why green building hasn't kind of taken off. There seems to be so many things I don't know, against the implementation of buildings that I know are healthier for the planet and people. And you kind of think, well, what's the point in the face of so much greed and corruption and lack of care, you know? But I suppose that story is proof that one person can make a difference. And yeah, if everybody gave up, no progress at all would be made. And I suppose one building, one home that is saving energy and that's healthier for people to live in is better than none. And we can only build on what we've done so far. But one thing's for sure, I owe a hell of a lot to this forest. It's all the kind of inspiration I need, really, to try and continue with my studies. Still lacking confidence that I can put pen to paper with the first assignment. Time's running out again. But I've been through worse in my life than getting to grips with an assignment, and I think just passing it will be an achievement. So anyway, not thinking about that today. Maybe get my guitar out quickly and play a tune.